I share how much I still hate the EVH Iconic amplifier. You know, guys have to just stop saying, oh, James Brown made it. That's cool. You know, the guy's, he was a great designer. He was a great designer. To me, YouTubing is a joke, dude. It's a joke.
No, Lewis, you're the joke. All right, so before we get started, let me just put a few things out there. Number one, I couldn't care less whether or not you like the Iconic. I don't care if you buy it or if you don't. It doesn't have any effect on me whatsoever. The only thing I do care about, and I think I speak for most YouTubers here, is that you make an educated decision on your gear purchases. Now, there's been a lot of talk and drama about this amplifier for the last couple weeks, and unfortunately, it's got personal in a lot of ways, and it's really taken a turn for the worse, and that's why I have to address this issue right now. I don't want to talk about this. I'm not a drama channel. I'm a gear channel. I'm a music channel. We get together every Sunday night with Carrie and I, and we hang out with a bunch of you. We answer questions. We play songs. She sings. We could have a nice back and forth exchange about things. I'll demo some gear. We even have community jams here where people send in their versions of my songs that I've sent them that they write solos over and stuff. I mean, we have a great time here. And that's the way I want to keep it. But again, unfortunately, because of this situation, I have to address this because I'm getting inundated with messages, text messages, emails, messages on Facebook, messages on Instagram, messages even in my live streams and comments on my videos. People are asking me about this. I mean, it's absolutely insane. And I apologize to my viewers that I actually have to bring this into one of my videos that I do for this channel. I'd rather be making creative content for you guys and playing an amp like this on my favorite guitar and showing you how awesome it is. But I have to address this. I don't have any other choice at this point. So again, my apologies for bringing drama to my channel, but I'm going to do this once and for all. And once this is done, I am going to wash my hands of it and move on to much better and more important and positive things. And I hope we can all do that together. And I don't want to talk about it anymore. I don't want it discussed. I don't even want to think about it anymore because this has been just an absolute joke for the last couple weeks and I'm sick of it. So let me just quickly say this before we get into this whole thing. I want you to be able to make the best decision possible when you're looking for gear. I present it in a truthful light here. I don't EQ my mics. I don't do any pre or post processing on any of my videos at all. I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm here to show you truly what the amp sounds like or what the pedal sounds like or whatever it is that I'm demoing on the show so that you can make an educated decision on whether or not that product works for you. Now, the reason why I bring all this stuff up is because the one guy who's been trashing this amplifier for weeks now has never played it. And he's trashing all the YouTubers out there like myself and many others who actually like the amplifier and are demoing it properly, and he's just calling us all shills, and we're EQing our mics, and we're doing all this post-processing to make the amp sound good and to help it so that we could get free stuff from EVH or money from them or whatever, and none of that is true. None of it's true at all. It's just a big fat lie. Every single statement he made about this amplifier, he made before he ever played the amplifier. Now, I know he went to a store weeks after he was trash talking it and telling everybody it sucked. He finally went to a store and played it, and you know just as well as I do that his ego wouldn't let him like it. He had to stick with his narrative and trash talk it and say it sucked, and he proved it with this crappy phone audio. I mean, who does amp reviews with phone audio, sticking their phone in a corner and using the cheap, crappy mic on a phone to pick up the audio and say, oh, look, it doesn't have any low end. Well, no shit. Of course it's not going to have any low end, dude. It's a freaking crappy phone mic. How is it going to pick up low end? That's the dumbest thing I ever heard in my life. And again, he walked in the store knowing full well that he was going to hate the amp. He already made his decision ahead of time, and his ego would not let him like it and, you know, backpedal on it and go, well, I'm sorry, guys, I was wrong. The amp actually is really good. Of course, no one expected him to change course and do a 180 and say, yeah, I like it. I mean, give me a break, man. And anyone that's watched Lewis's channel enough knows two things about him. He's a trash-talking clickbaiter. That's basically it. I mean, remember when he trashed Synergy? Remember that? Remember the thumbnail when he's flipping off Synergy, saying F Synergy? Oddly enough, he was trash-talking him because they wouldn't get back with him because he had an issue with their product, and really it came down to it was user error. He hooked it up wrong to his power amp and blew a fuse on his power amp and ended up getting that fixed, and then trash-talked Synergy in the process, left the video up, got mad at them because they didn't get back with him in a timely manner, according to him anyways. And the thing was, they had a building fire, and they were dealing with that for like 2 weeks, and they couldn't get back with him. They finally get back with him and ask him, hey, can you pull the thumbnail down? Can you pull that video down? And rumor has it they hooked him up with a bunch of free gear. And boy, for a guy who's calling everybody shills, isn't it odd that he's pitching Synergy left and right now in all of his videos, or at least in a lot of them? Because he got a bunch of freebies from him, because he trashed him, because he broke his equipment because he didn't know how to hook it up properly. Interesting, huh? I mean, isn't that pretty disgusting to trash a company because you broke their equipment because you didn't hook it up right? And then you leave that video up there until they send you some free stuff, and then you take it down, and then you start shilling for him? And he's out there calling everybody shills. Well, I think he's kind of projecting there, so, you know, maybe he's the shill. And remember when the whole Fort and Sigil thing went on? And he made this huge video about that and trash-talked them. And now he's playing a Fort and Sigil? Interesting. So you're going to trash-talk a product and a company who makes it, and then now you own it. So he's talking out of the side of his neck all the time. I mean, it's just all this double talk all the time. And then you also have that wonderful video he made when the Mesa Badlander came out. Remember that? When the Mesa Badlander was in the thumbnail. Now, when you watch the video, did he have a Mesa Badlander? No, not at all. He was playing a dual rectifier with a overdrive plugged in the front and said, you don't need a Mesa Boogie Badlander, just get an overdrive pedal and plug it in the front of your dual rec, and then you're all set. Really, Lewis? That's your advice to people? I'll tell you something right now. I have a dual rec right here, and I got a Badlander behind me, and they are completely different amplifiers. They sound and feel nothing alike at all. So for him to, you know, talk people out of buying a product because all you have to do is put an overdrive in front of something else that's in their family of amplifiers without even trying the amp. He never tried the amplifier before he made this video. He just said, oh, just get an overdrive pedal, plug it in front of your dual rec, and you got a Badlander. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Seriously, stupid. Again, the amps don't even have the same DNA. They're nothing alike at all. Completely different amplifiers. But hey, he's out there giving advice to people, and people are taking it. And then he finally went in and supposedly played one in a store, off camera, so there's no proof of that, and got back in his car and said, yeah, I just played the Badlander and it sucks. So just get an EVH Stealth 50 watt and you're all set. That's the kind of guy you want to follow, really? A guy that goes in a store, doesn't let you in on it, doesn't let you hear the audio so that you can have some say in your decision. He's so full of himself, he's just going to get back in his car and just say, hey, my opinion matters more than yours because I'm freaking Luis Torres. And I played it, and I say it's a joke. I say it's a piece of crap. So that's pretty much, you can write that in blood. You can put it in stone tablets. That's how good my word is. Don't buy it because Luis Torres said so. And he's the all-knowing freaking god of all guitar tone and gear. So whatever he says is good, is good. Whatever he says sucks, definitely sucks. He doesn't need to prove it. He doesn't need to show you anything. All you have to do is take him at his word, and you're going to buy the best stuff and dodge all the crap out there because you're just going to listen to him. The guy that records all of his guitar demos with an iPad mic or some sort of cheap room mic, and they all sound like crap. Yeah, so go ahead and listen to a guy like that. Yeah, you should do that. That's a great idea. You know, it's funny, some of the comments that I see on Lewis's show, these people come in there and praise him up and down for keeping it real, and yeah, he just uses the mic in the room, you know, so we can hear how the amp really sounds. Well, you know, whenever I see comments like that, I just laugh because you guys have no idea what you're talking about when you say stuff like this. And he's got you all fooled with this whole, yeah, I don't mic amps, I want to show you what they really sound like. Well, let's test that theory out right now. Alright, so let's do a fun little experiment, shall we? I'm going to go ahead and record a guitar riff two different ways. The first way is going to be the Lewis Torres way, which is the amp in the room way, which you can hear how the amp sounds in the room. And I'm going to do that two different ways. I'm going to use my phone, and I'm also going to use this vocal mic right here. So that way, that procedure has two different chances to sound good. And then I'm going to record the same guitar riff the professional way. You know, the way that 99.9% of professional YouTubers do it, using a microphone or a pair of mics. In this case, I'm using an SM57 and a Royer 121. Reason why I do that is the SM57 gets a certain kind of frequency off of the speaker, and the Royer 121 gets another certain type of frequency. I'm giving you the low end and all of the mids and highs all at the same time in this recording to show you the full spectrum of sound that this amplifier and speaker cabinet combination will give you. This is the proper way of doing things, but again, I could be wrong, so let's go ahead and shoot out the two different ways you can get a guitar tone recorded for a YouTube demo. The right or professional way, or the Lewis Torres way. Alright, so to be fair, let's go ahead and try this microphone right here. This is our talk mic. Let's see how it sounds on that. Well, I don't know about you, but I feel like using microphones is the best way to record guitar sounds. That way you can get an accurate representation of the full spectrum of sound that's coming from that amplifier and the speaker cabinet that it's connected to. When you use room mics, especially ones that really aren't made to be recording guitar in a room, all you're going to get is the reflections off of all of the walls in the room. And if your room's not treated, it's even worse. All you're going to get is all these weird reflections and all this phasing that's associated with the reflections. You're not really going to capture the low end of the amplifier, so it's easy to say it doesn't chug because you're not going to hear any low end anyways, are you? And as you also noticed, it didn't sound anything alike. I could have played any one of these amplifiers with the room mic method, and you probably couldn't tell the difference between them, and you certainly wouldn't know which one you would pick as your favorite out of all those amplifiers with that method. That's why it's very, very, very critical and important to demonstrate amplifiers properly by close miking the cab and using good mics and good placement and blending of those microphones to give you the accurate sound. I mean, let's face it, if room mics were great, why don't producers use them in studios? I mean, they could just slap a mic in the room, close the door, and go ahead and record the tracks. But no, they close mic them. Why? Because that's how you're supposed to do it. So if it's good enough for a professional producer that's doing a recording, why wouldn't we do the same thing on an amp demo? It just makes too much sense for me, right? So, you know, if you want to watch his channel and pick amplifiers based on the horrible sounds that you're getting on there that are completely inaccurate and don't catch the full spectrum of the amplifier, all you're hearing is the full spectrum of the phasing that's associated with all of the sound bouncing off of all the walls and room reflections, well, you go ahead and do that. But as for me, I'm going to go to channels that actually mic cabs properly and demonstrate amps properly. All right, so enough about Luis Torres. I just wanted to, you know, kind of describe who he is to everybody so they understand who I'm talking about. So now let's get to what happened. All right, so on December 18th, I was the third person to actually go on YouTube with the Iconic, okay? I actually went live with it on a Saturday morning, and I was honored to do so. And honestly, I was quite surprised at how good the amp sounded, and that's one of the biggest reasons why I went live with it. And much to my surprise, Luis Torres actually showed up in my live stream and started commenting. And he had a lot of kind words to say, and he even super chatted me. Now, I'm going to post screenshots of those right here. And if you want to pause the video so that you can read those, go ahead. So I'm playing, and I'm looking over at my iPad here while I'm playing, and I'm seeing this. I'm like, wow, that's interesting. For a guy who's been trash-talking this amplifier for so long, I'm surprised he's in here and seems to be in a pretty positive mood about everything. This is really interesting. You know what? Maybe he's having a change of mind here, and I should just give him the benefit of the doubt. Now, I didn't thank him for the Super Chats live because, honestly, it was a crazy morning. I had 150 people in there, and I'm playing like 10 songs in a row while all this is going on. And by the time I got done playing, there were so many comments and questions and everything going on. So I kind of didn't mention anything about his Super Chat or thank him live. So I made sure that afterwards I reached out to him via Facebook Messenger because we were friends on Facebook at the time. And I thanked him via Facebook Messenger because I didn't want to be rude. I wanted to be polite and thank him for that. And it was an interesting conversation we had, and I will post those screenshots right here. And again, pause the video so that you can read all this stuff because I'm not going to read it all to you. So I'm going to go ahead and just paraphrase everything for you right here. I basically thanked him for the Super Chat and for the kind words and all this kind of stuff. So, and he basically said, bro, you're the man. Thank you for making the video. You made the Iconic sound really good. I knew that of all YouTubers, you would be the one to make that rip and roar if it could, and you clearly did. I mean, come on. Right there, he said, I made it sound really good. But in many days following this conversation, all he said was, oh, I keep watching all these YouTubers trying to make it sound good, and they can't. They can't make it chug. They can't make it sound good. It sounds terrible. And it's like, dude, you're talking out of both sides of your mouth. I mean, right here privately, you're telling me it sounded amazing, and I did a good job with it. But publicly, you're saying that nobody can make it sound good. I mean, how disingenuous and hypocritical can you get? And right down here, I said, thank you. I was surprised at how good it sounded. It's definitely worth the price. He gives me a heart saying he loves the comment, and he also says, yes, I agree, for $8.99 it sounded better than most amps in that price range. But on his YouTube channel, he says there are way better amplifiers out there for the same price, and he started giving people a list of other amps that they should buy instead of the Iconic. So which one is it, Lewis? Is that a great amp for the price, or are there way better choices out there for the same price? I mean, make up your mind, dude, because, again, all this double talk is getting everybody confused, and it's pissing people off. And you're misleading people. You're lying to them. Now, the conversation ended on a good note, and I didn't think twice about it. I was like, all right, well, hopefully he's changed his mind. Well, the next day, Carrie and I go live, and people were really excited about the Iconic video that I did, and people had a lot of questions. And basically all I said was, guys, go try one of these out for yourself. Don't listen to the naysayers. Just try one out and see what you think. Next thing I know, Luis Torres blocks me on Facebook and starts running his mouth and trash talking me and a bunch of other YouTubers on his channel and posting a whole bunch of crappy little memes and pictures and statements and stuff like that in his community section on his YouTube channel. And I'll post all of that stuff right here for you to see. Again, just pause the video and read them for yourself if you want. And he took a lot of things that I said out of context and did videos about them. One of them was one of these things right here that I said in a Facebook group. But this is after he was trashing me and everybody else for several days. And I finally had it. And I basically just posted this in a Facebook group. And he took it out of context and went and did a video about it. You can see it right here. YouTube reviewers, if you haven't actually played the amplifier, don't bash it. That is all. Thank you. So obviously one of his little minions screenshotted this and sent it to him, and then he made a video about it saying that I'm telling people that they shouldn't talk about an amplifier unless they've played it. And all this talk about, oh, he doesn't work for me and I think I run YouTube and stuff. None of that's true. I didn't say you can't talk about it. I said you shouldn't trash it unless you play it. But you see how he twists people's words around and makes videos about it and does all this clickbait and creates all this drama about nothing? So it's another example of the type of person that Luis Torres is. A very small-minded, very insecure, narcissistic person. So basically, for the next few weeks, Luis just started a whole bunch of drama and clickbait and mudslinging so that he could get a bunch of people to subscribe to his channel and watch his videos. And all this at the expense of a bunch of YouTubers and a really good man named James Brown, who made an excellent amp at a very affordable price for everyone to enjoy. I mean, he wanted it all to be about him. You know, because that's what narcissistic people do. Everything's got to be all about them at the expense of everyone. They don't care who they have to stomp on, lie about, treat like crap, or make jokes about that aren't funny, or insult so that they can get people to pay attention to them. They don't care what kind of attention they're getting. All they care about is that they're getting all of it. And Luis Torres is the epitome of that type of person. Oh, you want proof of that? Okay, fine. I'll use his own words against him to prove my point. Check this out. So right here, somebody actually commented on one of his posts or videos on his channel. This person said, injecting yourself into the controversy? Why? Do you diss a slow 100? Each has its place. And Luis replies, injecting? My man, I created it. What are you talking about? You realize this is an issue because of me, right? All the controversy literally started with me. Haha, I'm not injecting myself. I created the controversy. You must have missed the order of this show. Everyone's in the Luis Torres show. It's not the other way around, but I'm glad I could fix this for you so you don't sound silly again. You're welcome. Now pay attention to the next episode tomorrow. So right there, that's proof that he just wanted to make everything about him, and he wanted everything to be about the Luis Torres show. He wanted everybody to be on his show as opposed to everybody having their own shows. He wanted to make it all about him so that everybody's talking about him instead of the product and enjoying their shows, enjoying just doing the reviews and having a great back and forth and a positive situation with all of their viewers. He wanted to interject himself into everybody's show so that everybody be talking about him. Now, one final one I'll read to you here. Some guy named Timmy says, my man, hurting some butts, good work. And Lewis's reply is very telling. Timmy, how funny, right? I make normal videos and I get 500 views, but I poke fun of the EVH, all hell breaks loose, and I get thousands of views. So again, he's doing all of this just for views. If you ask me, this is freaking disgusting. So let me get something straight here, Luis. You think it's okay to trash a legendary amp builder named James Brown, along with his legacy, the products that he makes, and the company he works for, and Eddie Van Halen, who put his stamp of approval on that design of that amplifier. You think it's okay to trash all of those people, as well as a lot of YouTubers who also thought the amp was great, and a lot of people who thought the amp was great. You think it's okay to trash all of those people just so you can get clicks and subscribers for a channel that you're not serious about? Really? You think that's okay? Wow, that's freaking disgusting, man. You have definitely set a whole new level of low on YouTube as far as I'm concerned. You really ought to be ashamed of yourself. And you know something else? All your little minions that think this is funny, you ought to be ashamed of yourselves too. I can't believe that somebody's actually applauding this kind of behavior, especially from a grown-ass man in his 50s acting like this. This is disgusting. Now, to all the people that have followed Lewis's channel and watch his videos and are kind of oblivious to this kind of behavior, I'm not pointing my finger at you guys. It's just that very small circle of clowns that are supporting his behavior and applauding it. Now, for the rest of you that don't support this kind of behavior, maybe it's time you found a better channel to follow. Whether it's mine, Kyle Bowles, Fluffs, you know, Shred Ain't Dead, Ninecore Neil, Stay Metal Ray, Ola, I don't know. Find a better channel that actually gives honest reviews and isn't all about the drama, and definitely doesn't drag people's names through the mud and ruin people's reputations just so they can get clicks and subscribers. You're more than welcome to come to my channel or other channels that I mentioned. I'm definitely not trying to get more subscribers by doing this video. I'm just saying there's definitely better options out there for you. Now, for the very small circle of lowlifes that are on Lewis's channel, you know, you're not welcome on my channel. And if there's anybody that subscribed to me that thinks that this kind of behavior is acceptable and thinks it's funny, get out. I don't want you here. This is my community. This is my house. And I don't want you poisoning my house. I don't want you ruining the experience for myself, for Carrie, and all of my awesome subscribers here. You are not welcome here. And again, if you think that kind of behavior is acceptable and funny, there's the door, man. See your way out. I don't want you here. You're not welcome here, and you never will be. You know what, Lewis? Since you think YouTube's a joke, and you don't take it seriously anyways, maybe you should just shut your channel down and run away and join the circus. You know, they're always looking for clowns, and you fit the bill perfectly. You wouldn't even have to fill out a resume or turn in an application. All you have to do is send them a link to your channel, because the clown show that's been going on your channel, especially the past several weeks, would definitely get you hired. All they'd have to do is just watch and go, holy crap, where's this guy been? Man, we should just hire this freaking guy right here. He's an expert. Maybe he could teach our clowns how to be better clowns. Well, best of luck to you, Lewis. I really mean it. Maybe someday I'll catch you at the circus. Maybe you'll be riding a unicycle, honking your nose, and juggling for people. That'd be pretty cool. I mean, seriously, Lewis, who in their right mind would value your opinion about anything after watching your channel? I mean, between the clickbait, the horrible production value, the clown show, the way you treat people, and the fact that you bash products that you've never even played, how can anybody value anything that you say? Now, in closing, I just want to say I don't want anybody from my channel going over to Lewis's channel and bashing him and saying anything cruel to him at all. I think we should just move on and concentrate on more positive things from here on out. Again, I'm sorry I had to make this video, but it was necessary, and I'm glad I got all this stuff out there for everybody, and I hope people are informed by this and from here on out can make better choices when they look for YouTube channels, especially YouTube channels that are respectable and worth their trust.